And hello, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Grand Cat, and today we are going to be doing the Summerslam 25 predictions, and I am going to be giving away a free Battle Pass, the John Cena Greatest of All Time 17 Unseen, of course, the special Uwu Championship John Cena. So that is going to be very, very special. This is not the first Battle Pass that I've ever handed out, but it is the first Battle Pass that I have handed out to a public stream. Baron Von Joy says links are shared. Alex Gardner says hi, Grandcat. Wix Trek says yo, Grandcat. Tom Road 700 sub says hi, it's been a while. Hello, Tom, I recognize you. AC says hi there. Hockey Lax 44 says hi. The Young Boomer says yo. What a great name. Kate Viknesh says hi. Mr. Nobody says hi. Cheese says yo. Welcome everyone to the stream. There's an awful lot of people here considering that my stream says that there's one person watching. I'm going to have to go ahead and refresh my stream just a second. Draco Wagner says hi, how do I enter? I am going to tell you all about that in just a second. We're just setting up the initial stream. Okay, we are in. So today we are Jeffrey O'Kelly says yo. Beast says hi. Preston Ritchie says yeet. Tom Road 700 sub says how he been. AC says looking forward to the 6-team ladder match at SummerSlam. That is going to be a crazy box of squirrels match to say the least. So in today's stream we are going to be going over the predictions for SummerSlam. Now there are 12 matches throughout SummerSlam through night 1 and night 2. So we've got a lot more than just these 6. So you can choose whatever ones you think is going to be the best, and we're going to be discussing them all here together. Now, I'm going to be giving away a Battle Pass, and how this Battle Pass is going to happen is there's a new thing on W Supercard that's called Top, or not in W Supercard, sorry, a new thing on YouTube that's called Top Fans, and on here, you can actually see how much experience everyone has. The person at the end of the stream who is ranked number 1 in the top fans will get themselves a free guaranteed battle pass. That is how I'm going to be giving it away. And let me read out here how to get it. So the top fans in XP, what is the leaderboard? It is a place for fans to stand out in the community. The top 3 get special badges in live chat. It resets every stream so you can always begin again. And how do you get on the leaderboard? You'll need to collect experience points or XP. Here's how you get them. You either send live chat messages, send super chats, or super stickers. And it says you can learn more by clicking on the top fans bit at the top. So hopefully that all makes sense to everyone. We are going to try and get it. I see that there's a few people that are ranked number 1 here. It's of course going to be the person who's ranked number 1 at the end. President Richie is currently ranked number 3. Hockey Lax is ranked number 1. Cheese is ranked number 1. Draco Wagner is ranked number 1. So there's an awful lot of ranked number 1s here. Oh, Alex Gardner has given a £1 like. Thank you very much, Alex. And let's see if that gets you. I'm going to go ahead and give that a heart from the big old Grand Cat. Let's see if that goes ahead and helps you get that number 1 slot. So this is not going to be a short live stream. It's not going to be around for only 5 minutes. We're probably going to be streaming for about 2 hours, maybe just under. So you've got plenty of chance to get all the way up to rank 1, get all that experience, and someone says here a new Talatonga special edition card with equipment and Drew McIntyre support. That sounds awesome. Alex Gardner says, how far are you in GU and Giants Unleashed? Well, we'll go over all of that in just a second. My goodness, the chat is exploding here, which is absolutely wonderful. I love hearing from each of you Grand Cat Grand Fleet members. And do remember to keep putting in all those chats there. I see that Alex Gardner has 150 experience. He's ranked number 1. And Preston Ritchie and Draco Wagner and Robert Bull's DXer are all ranked number 2 with 75 experience. So as the stream goes on, you'll be able to gather more and more experience through these chats. And of course, if you need an extra boost, you can use a super chat or a super like, and that should help boost you as well. And now, of course, this is for free, so don't go spending a tremendous amount of money just try and win one of these battle passes. This is just supposed to be for the person who is the top fan at the end of this stream. Whoever is ranked number 1 will be the one who gets it. And hopefully that will all be wonderful. Beast says, I can't wait to see the Roman Reigns special edition design. Yeah, that would be very, very cool. Alex Garner says, is the free SummerSlam pack still available? I'm unsure. So let's go ahead, and while we're waiting for the chat to build up a little bit, as more people come in. We've not got the battle pass, the free battle, the free bonus pack yet. I was about to say battle pass. I've got free battle pass on my mind, but yes, that will be coming later. And of course, in 6 days' time, we'll be getting brand new PLE cards, which I'm very excited to see what that's going to be like as well. In terms of the Giants Unleashed, this is where we are at. We've done 85 games, and we are slowly closing in on the Kofi Kingston. We have got 96 million of the 105 million that we need for the Kofi Kingston. Tom Road 700 sub says, do you know if Penta has a match? I'm not sure, but we will be looking up all of the matches. Jisadhu says, happy SummerSlam Grand Cat, keep up the good work, buddy. Thank you. That really means a lot to me. It has been a slightly hard day, a slightly more difficult day than usual, so it really does mean quite a bit. Alex Garner says, the card backs in the Superstore change at reset? Do they? Really? The card backs? Let's go take a look at the card backs then. And they are not in here, than the Superstore. Yes, the sale ends in 1 hour and 45 minutes, so we will get brand new card backs. You are entirely correct. That is very, very cool. I wonder what those will be. That'll be exciting to see. And for the time being, while we're just waiting for the chat or the stream to build up some momentum, we're just going to play a couple of games of Giants Unleashed, and then we will get into the predictions video. He says, I wonder what card packs we'll get. Alex Gardner says, I want a Penta card back. That would be pretty cool. Sparsh says, Jade card back incoming. All very good ideas. Okay, so we're starting off with up arrows. We've got 2 of those. And we've got 3 left and right arrows. We're going to keep those, and we're going to hope that the left and right arrows come next. Dang, it's the down arrows. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. We're going to go ahead and use John Cena on this one, and then we've got all 4 of the left and right arrows. Sometimes you take a gamble and it does not pay off, other times it works. Amin says, are we getting a Tola Tonga limited edition or special edition? That seems to be the going theory. Actually, I'm not going to do those just yet. I'm going to go ahead and leave that one, because we'll probably do them when we're doing PvP bouts. Anzus Pope says, hey man. Hello, Anzus. He says, I'm hoping the title image will be permanently for free after this event, not just for the Battle Pass only. Oh, Amin says he's in the catalogue now. Really? Oh, so that's how people know about the Tola Tonga. That's very cool. That does certainly sound like we are 100% getting the Tola Tonga. Sylvan says, you just won the upgraded Finn Balor. I presume you just got yourself the heroic Finn Balor. That's very cool. Very, very strong. Big Bossman says, finished Giants Unleashed. I am still happily playing through it. And also, a big happy birthday to the Big Bossman. It is his birthday today. He says, let's just hope it's easy to get the Tola Tonga. I wonder if it'll be... See how there was the debut cards for Rusev and Aleister Black? And then we also had the... I have forgotten her name. She came from TNA. Give me a second. As Pope says, have you done the predictions and the giveaway yet? No, not yet. The giveaway will be... Oh, there was the NBA player as well. Yeah, that's right. Tyrese Halliburton. But I was thinking of Monroe Blake Monroe, thank you, Amin. That's exactly who I was thinking of. Because they all got like the new cards. So I think it might be something to do with that. Jeffrey Olek says, are the rewards going to reset with every boss we face, or is it the same? Oh, you mean in Giants Unleashed? Ah, right. Well, the way it works is once we defeat this boss, then there'll be another boss that'll come along, and that'll give us a chance to try and get rewards on those ones. So, yes, it does give you more chances. Man, that's like we had 4 left and right arrows, and it was down arrow, and now we've used the left and right arrows. So we've got at least 2 up arrows, but 2 up arrows is all we get, which sucks. Looks like Alex Gardner is currently number 1, as is Pope is currently ranked number 2. Remember, the more that you chat, the more experience you'll get. So the way that it works here is if you face the boss, you'll get this rookie reward right here. But if you get the minimum number, which is 8, you'll get the veteran reward, which you can see gives you this. It gives you a rare draft pick. It also gives you the card backs if you haven't already got them. And it gives you 2 of these based on your rarity. So my rarity is Summerslam 25. So I've got a chance of getting anywhere between Summerslam 25 and Valor. And of course, the next one is going to be a veteran. So we only need to beat him 6 times. We'll get that reward. And then we'll find out what the card is that comes after that one. B says, who do you think is currently the most auraless wrestler in WWE right now? The one with the least aura? That's difficult to say. I would say that... well, to be auraless, you have to have had aura and then lost it, I would say, because otherwise you wouldn't be on the main roster. And I think that Carmelo Hayes, Austin Theory, and Grayson Waller are not living up to their potential. They are being wasted in the mid-card right now. Amin says, Giants Unleashed was hard before, it was more points. Amin says, and if a giant is beaten, you're guaranteed to find one when you open up the game. Yes, that in the old days, if a giant was defeated, you had to wait until the next giant showed up. Nowadays, they just immediately come one after the other. Alex says, I don't understand how we're still in the first giant. Yes, very good. Jazado says, Rusev. Yes, Rusev hasn't done an awful lot since he's returned either. Ansis Pope says they've given him too much HP. We're probably just going to have to defeat 2 giants in the entire event. The Young Bourbon says, I just started playing Supercard 2 days ago and I'm loving it so far. Still learning? Well, if you're still learning, I have an entire playlist of tutorials just for you. They will help you out in every single one of the new events. Beast says, I think JC Mateo, because when he wears those glasses, he looks like that one Pokemon, Squirtle, I think. Oh my goodness. So someone did mention that in the card catalogue, if we go into SummerSlam 25, the Talatonga has shown up here. And there he is. There's the one. You can see it right there. And it looks like it does have the debut card the same way that Blake Monroe and Rusev and Aleister Black had. So that is pretty cool. Young Boomer says that we'll check the tutorials out. Oh, thank you very much. Each of those views all helps. Of course, what also helps is giving likes, shares, and subscribes. Commenting on the videos also helps as well. All helps to get more people out there, to bring more people into the Grand Cat Grand Fleet. Alex Garner says, will we ever get Hikuleo? Is Hikuleo not Talatonga? I think he is. B says, so probably the draft board event, which is easy. Well, we can hope. That certainly sounds like that might be what it is. We're also in the middle of doing a little King of the Ring here. Let's go ahead. This is the only way I have found to be able to actually win a King of the Ring is by having 4 decent cards and sandbagging 3 of your tag teams. And I've seen a lot of other people do the exact same. You just need to get lucky. So that's unfortunately the only way that I know how to get these King of the Ring cards. I really don't like playing King of the Ring, but it is required for the SummerSlam rocks. So We just have to deal with it, unfortunately. So now let's go into the... Well, I mean, I could sit here and look at the SummerSlam watch party, the prediction thing, but that is quite boring. So instead, let's just sit around and look at Brutus Creed while we're looking at these instead. So let's go ahead and bring up the match card. You might be able to hear me typing in the background, because I am such a professional that I did not have this already set up. You'd think that I would have. Instead, I spent all my time making the little thumbnail. Okay, SummerSlam 25, and there are 6 matches for night 1, and there is 6 matches for night 2. And I don't think these are in any particular order, because neither of those look like they're probably going to be the top one. So I think this is in no particular order whatsoever. So we have Tiffany Stratton as champion against Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. There is the tag team match for no reason with Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. There is Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, against CM Punk. There's the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez as champions defending the Tag Team Championships against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Then there is the other no-reason tag team match, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman. And then we have the Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross match, where if Kross wins, Zayn has to say the words Kross was right, and if Zayn wins, Kross must say I was wrong about Zayn. So then on night 2, we have John Cena as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion in a street fight defending the title against the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Then we have a triple threat for the Women's World Championship, which is Naomi defending her belt against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Becky Lynch as the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion is defending the belt against Lyra Valkyria in a no disqualification, no count out last chance match. And if Lynch wins, Valkyria can no longer challenge for the title as long as Lynch is champion. Then we have Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu in a steel cage match for the WWE United States Championship. Dominic Mysterio against AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship, with Dominic Mysterio being champion, of course. And then we have the 6-pack tables, ladders, and chairs match for the WWE Tag Team Championships, where the Wyatt Six, Dexter Lumis, and Joe Gacy will defend their titles against Andrade and Rey Fenix, DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, Fraxium, Axiom and Nathan Frazier, the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, and the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. So we have one very, very stacked SummerSlam, and it's going to be 2 huge nights of wrestling. And now let's go over who we think is going to win in each of these matches. And I'm going to be looking at the chat as well while we go over this. So the first one we're going to discuss is going to be night 1, and it's going to be Tiffany Stratton as WWE Women's Champion against Jade Cargill. Now, how do you all feel, chat? How do you feel about Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton? For me, this one feels like it could be 50-50. I would like to see Jade Cargill win. I think that she's got a lot of push behind her since she won the Queen of the Ring. However, I also wouldn't mind seeing Tiffany Stratton being able to retain. Now, the thing is, there hasn't been an awful lot of build-up for this match, and I don't know what is going to happen. Even the chat seems to be a little bit confused. Oh, you know what? I've actually just remembered. I completely forgot to do this earlier, folks. I'm going to do it right now. I am going to give away 5 free gifted memberships to some of the Grand Cat Grand Fleet members out there. It's entirely random as to who gets it, but you'll be given access to over 100 exclusive videos and you'll also get access to a whole bunch of Grand Cat emojis and all that kind of thing. So it's all very cool. So let's go ahead and send out our 5 things. So we've got our 5 gift memberships, and congratulations to Mike Gaming Roblox, YWNJ, AC, Kane Cooley, and Joseph. Congratulations to the 5 of you. You have all been gifted a membership by big old Zagrand Cat. It says, congratulations to all. Alex Arnold says, congratulations. Alex is still ranked number 1 in the top rank fans. Do remember that the person that is ranked number 1 at the end of the stream is going to get a free battle pass. Sam says, congrats, cats. Anzus Pope says, oh man, no luck. Hopefully I'm luckier with the battle pass. Well, Anzus Pope, you are ranked number 2. So if you just keep at it, if you keep getting those experience points, you might get there by the end. Now, of course, this is going to be quite a long stream, so you've got plenty of time to catch up. Omar says, good evening. Hello, Omar. Welcome. Alex Garner says, you can do it. I believe in you. Alex is ranked number 1. He also wants to try and win that battle pass, I'm sure. Also, if you've already got the battle pass, you have a few different options. If you do manage to win, you can either have one of your friends get the battle pass instead, or you can save the battle pass for the next battle pass that comes across. So it's entirely up to you. Also, if you're not a fan of John Cena, if you're not a fan of the Summerslam 25 tier, you can just go ahead and hold it for the next tier as well. Takato says, how does the giveaway for the battle pass work? Literally all you need to do is be ranked number 1 in the top fans. In order to be ranked number 1 in the top fans, I'm just going to go ahead and read it again. All you need to do is click experience points, and you can do that by sending live chat messages or sending super chats or super stickers. Those all add to your experience. So, back to the predictions, I reckon. Ammon says, I think I want to give away once when it literally just came out years ago. Oh, very cool. Beast says, will you be watching SmackDown tonight? And if yes, which thing are you most looking forward to the most? I will be watching SummerSlam, or I will be watching SmackDown, but I also have work in the morning, so I may be watching it tomorrow morning rather than watching it live tonight. Alex Gardner just did another £1 like. Thank you very much. Another super like. Selvin says, the Grand Cat, can you gift me Battle Pass? The answer, Selvin, is yes. Yes, I absolutely 100% can gift you the Battle Pass, so long as you are ranked number 1 by the end of this stream. Anzus Pope says, you're super chatting, you got it, bro. Tagato with the little Grand Cat emoji, because he is, of course, one of his Grand Cat Grand Fleet members. Right, let's get back into the predictions that way. So, it's going to be Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. Now, what I'm thinking about with SummerSlam is I'm thinking, if we think ahead to WrestleMania, who is likely to be in the match at WrestleMania? And with Naomi being on the other side, I think Bianca Belair could win the Royal Rumble, and we could see Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. Also, bear in mind, there is also the pay-per-view, and what's it called? There's the pay-per-view coming up where the champions have to fight against each other. So if Jade Cargill wins the WWE Women's Championship and Naomi retains the World Championship, we would have Jade Cargill versus Naomi with both of them as champion, which I think would be very, very cool. That is Crown Jewel, you are correct. It is indeed Crown Jewel that I was trying to remember the name of it. But yes, that is a very distinct possibility. So if I were to push, I would say I think Jade Cargill is going to win. I think Jade Cargill might take the belt. However, if Tiffany Stratton retains, I'll still be very, very happy because she has been amazing as champion so far. But I do think there is a possibility where we could see Jade Cargill winning. Also, I can do a poll here and let's see what you guys think of it. So okay, start poll. There you go. And by voting on that, that should also get you some experience points as well. So let's see, everyone in the Grand Cat Grand Fleet, who do you think is going to win this match? Do you think it's going to be Jade Cargill, or do you think it's going to be Tiffany Stratton? There does seem to be a lot of people saying Jade Cargill. I'm hoping that I haven't influenced the chat a little bit there, but there does seem to be certainly more people going for Jade than for Tiffany. So I think I'm going to do this. Oh, Andrew Quilly says Io Sky, Andrew. Well, Io Sky isn't in this match, but Io Sky is going to be in the next Women's Championship match. Jasadu says Tiff has done amazing as champion. I agree. Jeffrey says Jade going to smash Tiffy. I don't think she's going to smash her. I think it's going to be a very 50-50 sided match because both of them are doing amazing work at the moment. But I think it is Jade Cargill's time. It looks like a lot of the Grand Cat Grand Fleet are agreeing, saying that they think it's time for Jade Cargill to take the belt off of Tiffany Stratton. The one thing I'm worried about is what does Tiffany Stratton do after losing the title? I'm not sure. Just help myself to a little drink there. It's always important to remain hydrated. Mr. Handles Kid says, I would assume Cena has to lose with the title, correct? We'll get to that. But I think you might be onto something there, Mr. Handles. Because Cena won't be there for WrestleMania. He won't even be there for Royal Rumble. So this is going to be Cena's last huge event. Jeffrey says, do you think Seth is going to return with and cash in? You know what? Just between me and you, chat, I don't think Seth Rollins is injured. I think Seth Rollins is playing a game, and I think he is going for the cash-in of the Millennium. He had the heist of the century before. I think this is one is going to be even bigger. I think it's going to be the heist of the Millennium when it happens. Tiger says, when did you start playing W Supercard? Near the beginning. If I wasn't playing on day one, I was certainly playing by day 3. Jeffrey says, I don't think Seth is injured either. Okay, we're going to go ahead and end this poll here. We're going to start the next poll. Looks like the majority of people voted for Jade Cargill. 90% for Jade Cargill, 9% for Tiffany, and 1% couldn't make up their mind. I'm not sure what was going on there. So our next match is going to be the tag match of Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Now we're going to ask the question here first. So I'm just going to go, just going to take tag, and there we go. Okay, chat. So let's see who you think is going to win the tag match between Jelly RK Roll and, of course, Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Of course, Drew McPaul. I think that because this is a SummerSlam match, I think that it's going to have perhaps just. Alex Garner says, love the names on the poll. Well, I'm not going to write out the entire names. When we get to that 6 tag thing, that's going to be crazy. There's going to be have to be a lot of Jelly K roll, Jelly RK roll. Yes. I thought that was quite funny. RK roll. I was trying to put RKO along with Jelly Roll somehow, and I was like, well, that's probably the closest I can get to. Jeffrey says, Jelly going to chokeslam Logan to hell. Well, now that I've given you guys a little bit of time to make your decisions, and this one looks a lot more 50-50, I think they wouldn't bring in Jelly Roll just to lose. So I think the whole thing is maybe Randy Orton's going to be beat down by Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul, or whatever, and I think Jay Lethal is going to pull off some big return. He's going to get a big, either like a big running splash or a running spear, or he's just going to run up and punch them. And I can actually see Jelly Roll doing an RKO as well. And I think this entire thing is all for Jelly Roll and Randy Orton to win over Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Mr. Donut says, when's the Battle Pass giveaway? The Battle Pass giveaway will be at the end of this live stream, and it will be given to whoever is ranked #1 in the top fans. Whoever has the most amount of experience at the end of this live stream will be getting their free Battle Pass. So I think we are solidly decided on Jelly Roll and Randy Orton, and that is 100% who I would agree with as well. Let's go ahead and end the stream there. Alex Garner says, how long you live for? Well, I'm going to... I said we'll probably go for about 2 hours, maybe just under 2 hours, but we're certainly going to keep going until we get through all the predictions as well. The next one is a huge one. So let me just take this out here. Damn it. Give me a second here, folks. I'll be just won't. Okay, so the next one is going to be for the world title. And do you think Gunther is going to retain? CM Punk is going to win? Or do you think that Seth Rollins is cashing in the Money in the Bank and that he's not injured? Those are your 3 options. You've got 3 to choose from this time. Now, bear in mind that Seth Rollins did the promo and he said that so long as there's breath in my lungs, I will make sure that CM Punk never holds a world title. So that's what makes me think, is Seth injured? Is he going to cash in? Or is this CM Punk's time to win the world title? Or does Gunther just retain? Those are the various different things. Also, another question. Takuto said he said that. Yes, Seth Rollins said, right, CM Punk said that he had 2 goals in WWE. One was to main event WrestleMania, and the other was to win one last world title. So Seth Rollins said he can't stop him from main eventing WrestleMania, but so long as there's breath in his lungs, he will make sure that CM Punk never holds a world title. Mr. Donut says Seth distracts Punk and Gunther wins. That's a very good shout. That could very well be what happens. That Seth Rollins comes out with the injured leg and everything, and he's holding the briefcase, and it's enough to distract CM Punk, just enough for Gunther to pick up the victory. That's a very good point that you've made there as well. It looks like people are 50-50 on CM Punk and Seth Rollins. However, there's more people voting for Seth Rollins and CM Punk than there is voting for Gunther. So a lot of people think that the title is going to change hands in some way. MP Warrior says, no, Seth is not injured at all. He cashes in, IQ plays. I could also see that happening. I think that is a distinct possibility that we could very well see the cash in. And Mr. Donut says, I think Gunther will win. Okay, it's a little bit more even now. 40% of votes are for Seth Rollins cashing in, 30% of votes are for CM Punk, 30% of votes are for Gunther. Yeah, it seems to keep swapping around. People are making the decision. Another person has now voted for Gunther, so now CM Punk is actually the least favourite. And you could see how this match goes really 50-50. It's difficult to say one way or another how this match is going to go. I think there's a lot of interesting storylines that could come off of it. I think if Seth Rollins isn't involved and it's a straight match between Gunther and CM Punk, that I think CM Punk could win. I also think that Seth Rollins could come out and distract Gunther, or distract CM Punk, and Gunther could win that way. I also think that Seth Rollins could come out and cash in the Money in the Bank and maybe even win the world title by pinning CM Punk and not even pinning Gunther. That is also a possibility that could happen. So either way, I think it's going to be very, very interesting as to what is going to happen. Okay, I think we've left it just long enough there. So I'm going to go ahead and end that poll there. If I were to put money on it, I would say Gunther. I think Gunther retains because I think if CM Punk is going to win a world title, I think it would probably happen at WrestleMania. But SummerSlam is the next biggest thing. MP Warrior says, "Oh, I never thought about the idea of Seth pinning Punk." Yeah. Tagato says, "What if Seth cashes in on John Cena and Cody, and then The Rock appears to help Cody turn heel?" Gunther says, "I think." No, John Layton says, "Gunther will win, I think. Seth pretends to cash in." Mr. Donut says, "Seth limping to the ring, hits a pedigree and Punk. 1, 2, 3. Imagine that happening." Sylvan Marinda says, "I thought you're going to give me Battle Pass. I will give you the Battle Pass, so long as you're ranked #1 in the top fans by the end of this live stream. Because whoever is ranked #1 at the end of this live stream, not during, will get the guaranteed Battle Pass. I will 100% get them it. It will be a free Battle Pass from the big old Grand Cat to you." So our next bout is going to be for the Women's Tag Team Championship match. It's going to be the Judgment Day versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. So let's go ahead. Just go ahead and do that, and okay, we've got the new one, which is the tag is going to be either Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, or it's going to be Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Who do you think is going to win the women's tag team titles? I actually said last time that I thought that Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss would be winning, and I was really, really surprised that Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez actually retained. So this time, once again, I am going to say that I think it's going to be Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I think that they are overdue for their tag team championships, and I would be really, really surprised if Judgment Day retained again. Another thing that I think might happen, and this is maybe a spoiler for some of the other matches, is I think the Judgment Day might lose all of their tag team titles. And now, Finn Balor and JD McDonough aren't defending the Raw tag team titles at SummerSlam, but they will most certainly be defending them in probably the main event of the Raw after SummerSlam. And I could see a situation where Flair and Bliss take the belts off of Roxanne Perez and I almost said Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, and I could also see Finn Balor and JD McDonough losing to whoever they are against, which could very well be Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, and I could also see Dominic Mysterio losing the Intercontinental Championship to AJ Styles. So I think we could see all of the belts losing. Jacob Lee says, "Hello, first stream." Oh, welcome, Jacob Lee. It's very nice to see you. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Mr. Donut says he ain't even playing Giants. Hey, I'll go ahead and like play some Giants if you want, but like we're trying to do some trying to play a little bit of the SummerSlam predictions game, because that of course gives everyone some rewards as well. Donut says same here. I know Cat would be. Well, let's go ahead and do a couple of these matches, shall we? B said, did you already do Dom versus AJ? And if so, yes, who do you think will win? MP Warrior says, no, not you, Cat. Well, it's too late. I'm addicted to playing Giants Unleashed. I want my heroic Finn Balor. Okay, we'll play this one game and then we'll get back to doing the prediction, shall we? That was a dreadful amount of points. It wasn't even a million. Okay, we got over 100 millions. We're only 5 million away from the Kofi Kingston, so that's cool. We will get some of these bouts a little bit later on. Let's go ahead and dust those. I should probably also check on my King of the Ring now that I am here. Okay, there we are. And let's get back into the predictions, shall we? Okay, so I think we're going to end the poll there. It seems that a lot of people think that Judgment Day are going to lose the titles to Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. And I would have to 100% agree. The next match we have on night one is, well, let's get the Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross out of the way first, shall we? Okay, so we've come up with the should have been an I Quit match. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Now, here's what we know about it. Supposedly, Karrion Kross hasn't re-signed his contract. So, are WWE going to bury him on the way out? Are WWE going to give him a major push to try and keep him in the company? Who knows? The one thing we do know is that Sami Zayn's storyline is that he wants to go after a world title, and he can't go after a world title unless he has finished up with Karrion Kross, because Karrion Kross keeps getting in his business. So, my reasoning is if Sami Zayn wants to go for a world title, he realistically can't lose this feud with Karrion Kross. However, if WWE want to keep Karrion Kross absolutely cannot lose another pay-per-view match to Sami Zayn again. So there is this conundrum of, well, which one's going to win then? Is it going to be Karrion Kross, who is, I would argue that Karrion Kross is actually the fan favourite going in, but I feel like Sami Zayn needs to win this if he's going to have a chance of going after a world title any point between now and WrestleMania. So the question is, where is the storyline going to go? I could also see the situation where Karrion Kross beats Sami Zayn and Sami Zayn admits that Karrion Kross was correct, and that leads into a heel Sami Zayn, which might go after one of the face world champions. That is a distinct possibility, because we've got quite a few faces in the top area. We've got the likes of Cody Rhodes, we've got John Cena, who is kind of turning face. In terms of your major heels, it's really only Seth Rollins. I mean, after that is like Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, who aren't exactly in world title picture yet. Vignesh says, hi, Grandcat. Hello, Vignesh. Mr. Donut said, you said what I was going to say. um, but once again, as you can see from the chat, from the poll, it seems to be very, very 50-50. We've got 42% for Sammy and 58% for Karrion Kross. So again, this is a really, really difficult one to try and call, to try and say which one you think is definitely going to win. There certainly seems to be more people going for Karrion Kross, and I think that there's a possibility where Karrion Kross wins, Sami Zayn can still go for the World Championship so long as Sami Zayn becomes evil. Alex Garner says, what's your favourite PLE? WrestleMania. Probably Royal Rumble, actually. Royal Rumble's probably better than WrestleMania's. Mr. Donut says, Cross should win in my opinion. Wrestling Heel says, how can I win the Battle Pass? All you need to do is be ranked #1 in the top fans of this here very chat by the end of the stream, and whoever is ranked #1 will get a guaranteed free Battle Pass from the big old Grand Cat. And in order to get experience, all you need to do is chat in the live stream, or you can use super stickers, or you can use super chat. That all increases and adds to your experience. So I think we're going to go ahead and call that one there. And it looks like there's 57% for Karrion Kross and 42% for Sami Zayn. Now that one, again, I am just not confident enough to say one way or the other, but I would have to agree that I think Karrion Kross could win this, because if Sami Zayn wins, it ruins Karrion Kross. Like, it absolutely ruins Karrion Kross. Ahmed says, Kross should win. It's about time. Too much potential. I absolutely agree. I think Sami Zayn can afford to lose and still be in the main event picture. But I think Karrion Kross, if he loses, he is essentially done. His push is done and he loses all of his momentum. So I think Sami Zayn really, really should lose that one, and it should be Karrion Kross. And then we have what may be the main event of night one. We are, of course, talking about the tag match. It's going to be Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And there we go. So the question is this the main event? And is the Bloodline Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, which I have hilariously named the Bronze. So let's see here. Mr. Jones says TKO going to kill Karrion's character, possibly. Well, yes, they might very well do if Karrion Kross is leaving. Ahmed says Roman and Jey hands down. OTC and Yeet squashes the Bronze. Alex Garner says Yeet. NBA 2K25 game says hey. Ahmed says it's an indication in the last Raw they were beat up. They usually get an indication that they'll win the PLE. Vineyard says I don't see where Roman and Jey could possibly lose against the Bronze. Jisadu says love me some Bronze. Takato says go Yeet. The way that I am looking at this match is if we look at the outside politics, Roman Reigns lost at WrestleMania. I think this is Roman Reigns' first actual pay-per-view match since WrestleMania. and he is in a tag match with Jey Uso against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. I 100% think that Roman Reigns is not going to lose two major pay-per-views in a row. He's not going to lose at WrestleMania and SummerSlam. And this whole thing has just been designed to get across the tribal chief as the most dominant wrestler once again. And exactly as someone said, I forgot who it was. Yes, Ahmed. As Ahmed said, the fact that Braun Breaker speared both Roman and Jey through the barricade, and the two of them were left, in a crumpled mess, and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed standing tall in the ring, makes me think that Roman Reigns and Jey Uso are going to get their comeback at SummerSlam. Alex Gardner says, it's my birthday in 9 days. Well, happy early birthday to you, Alex Gardner. Mr. Jones says it's going to be super kicks, spears, and tsunamis the entire match. It could very well be. Vinesh says it'll be a good time for Roman to come back as well after his previous loss. Yes, I think so. It looks like everyone is in agreement that it looks like it's going to be Roman Reigns and Jey Uso winning with a 100% win on this poll. And that is going to be it for night one. So, oh my goodness, is my chat still going? We still live? Oh, we're good. Yep. My chat was just loading for a second there. So, let's take a quick look at our cards. I don't think Bret Hart, Mae Young, or Ultimate Warrior are going to be there, unfortunately, nor Stone Cold, nor Ron Killings. I do think that Karrion Kross is going to win, so I'm going to put Karrion Kross in there. Jason Jane Andrade, Steven Rio, Asuka, Ivor. Well, we haven't got down to Lyra Valkyria yet, but there's a spoiler for that one. Axiom, Chelsea Green, CM Punk. Oh, could CM Punk beat Gunther? I'm not sure. Naomi. More spoilers. Nikki Cross, Penta, Jake Fatu. Stephen Vicura, Shaquille O'Neal, John Cena, Jordan Grace, AJ Styles. Therese Halliburton, Abyss, Matchman, Ethan Page, Eric Rowan, Mankind, Kirito Tozawa, Otis, JC Mateo, Gunther. Oh. So I've got both Gunther and I've got CM Punk. Nikki Bella, Seth freaking Rollins. And let's see, Otis, Rey Mysterio, Tiffany, Roxanne Perez, Lester Black, Drew McIntyre, oh my goodness, John Cena, Julia, Kane, Ray Phoenix, Cody Rhodes, Rusev, Shawn Michaels, Hank Walker, Zarya, Tommaso Ciampa, Sky, Bailey, Sol Ruka, Ray Phoenix, Alexa Bliss. Okay, these are the ones that I am going to put in. I think Karrion Kross will beat Sami Zayn. I think Lyra Valkyria will beat Becky Lynch. I think she has to at this point. I think Naomi's going to retain. She's only just had the title. I don't see her losing it immediately. I think that Judgment Day are going to lose all their titles, which means that AJ Styles will beat Dominic. I think that Seth freaking Rollins is going to cash in his Money in the Bank, and I also think that Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are winning the women's tag titles. But let us continue on with night 2, now that we've got my predictions up. So night 2, we're going to go from the bottom to the top. So the first one is going to be got a lot here. Oh no, does it only give you 4 options? Oh no. It doesn't let you have more than 4 options in the thing? Oh no. Right. Okay, chat, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have 2 polls going at the same time. One of them. So one of them is going to have 4 of them in it, and I'm going to immediately start another poll for the other 2. Oh no, I've just realised you can only have 1 poll going at the same time. We have to end the poll in order to start a new poll. Oh no. Okay, well in that case, folks, you guys are going to have to guess between Wyatt 6, DIY, Andrade, Motor City Machine Guns, and if you think that Fraxium or Street Profits are going to win, you're going to have to go ahead and message that in the chat, because unfortunately we can only have 4 in our poll here, so that is absolutely ridiculous. Vignesh says, I think your list is pretty good. Alex Arnold says, can't do six-man tag TLC match. It's a choice between 2 for me. Mr. Donut says, pretty good predictions. Iad Gaming says, I have F2 Eddie and will be F3 from the quest. Almost finished the quest, only 50 tokens left. Oh, very cool. Alex Garner says MTMG, Motor City Machine Guns, of course. Mr. Donut says, I got Andrade and Ray Phoenix. I put that down as Andrade Ray because, well, how else do you say Andrade and Ray together? Andrade Ray makes sense to me. Now, I'm wondering, where does this storyline go? That is the interesting question. Andrade and Ray Phoenix are certainly the newest ones. They are the favourites. A lot of people like to think that Fraxium might win the tag titles as well. And I also think there's a possibility of Wyatt 6 defending the tag titles so that whoever beats them in a one-on-one tag match would come across as very, very strong. But do you see Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy climb up the ladder and grabbing the titles off of the top of the ladder? Like, that just seems like such a weird image for me to consider. Oh my goodness, I was like tied by a cough. I'd be more likely to think that it's probably Andrade and Ray Phoenix, sorry, or it's going to be Andrade and Ray Phoenix or Fraxium are the 2 that I would say. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to end the poll with this one, because Andrade and Ray Phoenix both have 45%. No one thinks DIY is winning, and only 1 person thinks it's going to be Motor City Machine Guns. So what we're going to do is we're going to make another poll here, and we're going to bring those guys back. So Wyatt 6 and Andrade Ray, but we're now going to add in Fraxium and Street Profits. Okay, so there you go. There is your second poll. So everyone, you can go ahead and vote on those. Why is it taking so long to load? Did my chat just die? No, I can see Aid Gaming saying there. Still talking. What on earth is happening? Can someone comment and let me know if the if the poll went up? My computer went into an infinite loading. Mr. Donut says no. Okay. I'm going to try going ahead and refreshing then. Bring in some small issues. No polls have popped up. Okay. Hopefully it'll pop up this time. Okay, it seems it did not show up. So instead we're going to have to do this again. So it is Wyatt 6. And Rad Ray. And the other two were, of course, Street Profits and Fraxium. Okay, there we go. The poll has now shown up. So you can now once again vote whether you think it's going to be Andrade Ray, which is Andrade and Ray Phoenix, the Wyatt 6, the Street Profits, or Fraxium. We know the DIY didn't get any votes, and we saw that Motorcycle Machine Guns only got 1 vote. It certainly does seem like a lot of people are behind Andrade and Ray Phoenix. There's a couple of votes now coming in for Fraxium as well as Wyatt 6. Mr. Donut says nobody got Street Profits. Well, maybe it's because Street Profits have already been champion, but I mean, most of them have already been champion, so it's very, very difficult to say. But it does seem that the chat is in favour of Ray Phoenix and Andrade. Miles Vang says, can I get the Battle Pass? You most certainly can, so long as you are ranked number 1 in the top fans by the end of this stream. Alex Garner says, what's a dream match you would love to see, Grand Cat? I always wanted to see Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was be a huge, huge battle of 2 of the biggest names. We did get Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, but I would say that Stone Cold was a much, much bigger star of the Attitude Era than what The Rock was, so I would have really, really liked to have seen a Stone Cold versus Hulk Hogan. However, we did manage to get to see Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan, and that was absolute nonsense. It's known as the Octopus in a Washing Machine match, because of how ridiculous Shawn Michaels is with his selling. So it looks like Fraxium has 20% of the votes, Wyatt 6 has 30%, and Rad Ray has 50%, and no one is going for Street Profits. Baron Von Joy says Prime HBK versus Prime AJ Styles would be mine. That is a very, very good idea. It is 2 very, very... I would have also really liked to have seen Adam Cole versus Shawn Michaels. Mr. Donut says, my dream match is Ospreay versus Cody Rhodes. Ah, yes, that is a huge match that could very well happen at some point. Alex Garner says, mine is Shawn Michaels versus Seth Rollins. Yes, very, very good idea. Shawn Michaels and Seth Rollins. Also, just out of a sheer madness curiosity, I'd have really liked to have seen Big Show versus Andre the Giant, just to see what it would look like. You know, because it's 2 very, very different wrestling styles, and both guys were both huge. I think maybe Andre the Giant was just a little bit bigger. Mr. Donut says, we need a Forbidden Door WWE versus AEW. Alex Garner says, hell yeah, that'd be amazing. Ayed Gaming says Prime Undertaker versus Aleister Black. That would be very, very cool as well. Equally, I wouldn't have minded a Prime Undertaker versus Fiend Bray Wyatt. I think that would have been a pretty cool dream match. Baron Joy says, may Adam Cole recover from his concussion issues? He's too good to be shelved this early. Yes, and that is unfortunately what happens in the terms of wrestling. That it is not ballet, it is very, very physical, and things can happen. So I think we're going to cut the poll there. It seems that the majority of the Grand Cat Grand Fleet have Andrade and Ray Phoenix winning this TLC. I honestly think it's between Andrade, Ray Phoenix, Fraxium, and Wyatt 6. Either Wyatt Six are going to retain so that whoever beats them comes off and looks really strong, or Andrade and Rey Fenix are getting such a push from the audience that the WWE can't ignore it and they go ahead and give them that title run. Or it's finally Fraxium's time to step up from the NXT ranks to the main roster and become the actual tag team champions. Also a distinct possibility. Mr. Donut says, I don't think it has Adam. No Banks says, hi. Hello, No Banks. Alex Garner says, Mr. Donut, I love that match, and I would have would be John Moxley versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. We did actually have that match. Although it wasn't John Moxley, it was Dean Ambrose. But that match does exist. The triple threat of the Shield. Vinesh says, well, we know the ring is going to break during the match of Andre versus Big Show. Yes, that would be very cool. Mr. Jones says, nice dream match, Alex. No Bank says, thank you for live. Mr. Dornan says, nobody getting experience. Really? Mr. Mr. Beast. Beast says, who are your top 5 rappers of all time? Oh my goodness, that would be very difficult to say. Ahmed says, Grand Cat, Andrade, Charlotte, both tag teams champions. WE cheekiness. Well, yes, that is a very, very distinct possibility. That could happen. Alex Garner says, I'm mean as they are now. Miles Vang says, wait, I forgot to enter the Battle Pass giveaway. Well, the Battle Pass giveaway is it's available for everyone. Whoever has the #1 rank in the top fans by the end of the stream is going to get themselves a free Battle Pass. No Banks or OSRS says, do you think W Supercard will bring a new Hulk Hogan card? I think it would be really nice of them to do that. I think they are in the position that they could do that. Selvin says, the Grand Cat, do you watch AEW? I do indeed. I certainly keep up to date with pay-per-views. I don't watch weekly. There's far too much to watch weekly with Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Collision, Dynamite. There's far, far too much wrestling in the week. But I do keep up to date with the AEW pay-per-views. Tyler says, I can't even gain experience. There's one that says, I've been stuck at 150 and I've been chatting. Let's go ahead and take a look at the experience here. Alex Gardner has 375 experience. Little Timmy, is that your name? Has 150 experience. Robert Bluzz has 100. Selvin has 100. Vinesh has 100. And then we've got people on 75 experience. So I'm not sure how the experience is given, but if we look at the information, it says you'll collect experience or XP. Here's how to get them. Send live chat messages, send super chats, and super stickers. So that is how to get your #1 rank. And of course, if you already have a battle pass, don't worry, because you can either give it to someone else, give it to a friend, or you can save it for the next battle pass, which will probably be in the next tier, or could very well, SummerSlam 25 might be a very, very long tier and might get 2 battle passes, same as we did for Unhinged. Beast says, who do you think was the most wasted in WWE? Swerve Strickland, Adam Cole, Samoa Joe, or Keith Lee? The most wasted, I would probably say, is Keith Lee, because he was an absolute dominant monster in NXT, but when he went up to main roster, he became Bearcat Keith Lee, and that was just a terrible gimmick, and it didn't go anywhere, and nothing really happened with it. No Bank says Chris Jericho needs to do a comeback to WWE, not as the You Made the List character. Veneer says, we're getting a new Talatonga premiere and Ulafala equipment. Ah, very cool. Ahmed says, I would like to see Prime HBK versus Prime AJ Styles. Mr. Jonas says, Adam Cole was not wasted. Or Adam Cole most wasted, sorry. Was he? I mean, Adam Cole was pushed really, really well in NXT. And then when he was going to be called up to main roster, that's when he dropped out. because they wanted to make Adam Cole a manager and they wanted to change his name to Adam Boom because there was already a Cole on Raw, which is Michael Cole, and they didn't want the two of them being connected. So he was going to be Adam Boom, and he was supposedly going to be the manager of Keith Lee. So that would have been absolutely horrible if that did happen, but thankfully it didn't happen. If anyone wants, Adam O'Donnell says, if anyone wants to see Cody versus Osprey, it looks like it happened at least once in Ring of Honor. Vinny says, what's your progress in Giants Unleashed currently? Currently, I'm right below the Kofi Kingston in the heroic side of Giants Unleashed. Okay, let's move on to the next match. The next one is going to be for the Intercontinental Championship. And it is going to be AJ Styles versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Now, who do you think is winning the Intercontinental titles match? Now, AJ Styles has been getting a huge push from having his match on TNA, and Dominic has been avoiding fighting AJ Styles for quite a while, and I really think that if Judgment Day is going to lose all their belts, then AJ Styles is probably going to be the one that comes out on top here. I could see a situation where Dominic Mysterio cheats to win in some way, but I think if WWE wants to try and give AJ Styles one last big run, one last big push in the company, this is the time to start doing it at SummerSlam. So I think I would put my chips towards AJ Styles, but I could also see a situation for Dominic Mysterio wins. But the reason why I'm not going with Dominic Mysterio is because I think this is the point where Judgment Day lose all their belts. They've got 5 belts in the Judgment Day. Oh, Solar Kennedy says Balor is going to cost Dom. That is an excellent suggestion. That could very well happen. We've seen the jealousy of Finn Balor and towards Dominic Mysterio, so that could very well be a thing that happens. Sylvan says, what's your favorite wrestler at AEW? My favorite wrestler in AEW probably was Adam Cole. I really, really like MJF, and I'm hoping that he gets a big showing once again. However, I've got to say that Okada is in there, and I really like to see Okada in a major storyline. Of course, we've also got the likes of Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page, of course. Can't go forgetting him. There's a couple of huge names in AEW, and it's difficult to say one, but if I were to pick absolutely one person from AEW, I think I would have to go with Okada. And let's take a look at the poll here. Looks like 67% is in favor of AJ Styles, 33% of Dominic Mysterio. So it's not 100% to 0. There is people thinking that Dominic could win, but yes, I think we might be seeing the point where AJ Styles wins. WNO says, hi, Wrestling Night Out. Hello, WNO. Welcome to the stream. Mr. Rowan says, Okada versus AJ would be fire. That would be very, very fire. Amid says, Hart says AJ, but Head says they will still bang on Dom unless there's a surprise live appearance. WNO says, sorry I missed the live. We're still going. We are still live. Don't worry. You have not missed it yet. There is still a bit to go. And I think we're going to go ahead and close that one there. AJ Styles is on 69%. Nice. Versus Dominic Mysterio, 31% of the chat. Giuseppe says hi. Hello, Giuseppe. Sorrel Kennedy says Dom's title reign just hasn't been up to far. Hasn't been up to far with past champions. Yes, I think I see what you're trying to say there. Yeah, like there has been certainly better Intercontinental champions in the past. I think Dominic has been doing a lot more in other promotions. down in likes of AAA, and he's been getting over like a lot more there, but just not so much in WWE. I can actually see him dropping the belt and going for a AAA title instead. I think that would be the interesting thing. No Bank says, I'll copy your predictions. You better be right this time. Well, I'll try. I mean, I do say I am 100% correct at least 50% of the time. Someone says, my favourite wrestler is Darby Allin, Moxley, Kenny Omega, and Adam Page. Yes, very, very cool decisions. Mr. Donut says, Dom hasn't been defending his title. No, he's had a sick note from the doctors saying that he absolutely can't wrestle. He's not allowed. Solar Ken says, autocorrect hates me. Me too, Solar. I feel your pain. Alex Garner says, what's your favourite match from this year's SummerSlam? My favourite match, the match I'm most looking forward to, has to be the greatest of all time, the Unseen 17, John Cena in a street fight against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, with the overhanging threat of the Money in the Bank briefcase from Seth freaking Rollins. I think that is going to be the match that everyone will be talking about. Solo Kennedy says he's going to lose the IC Championship, but win the AAA Championship at Triple Mania. Very well, that's a very good possibility there. The way you know says, I hope AJ wins. I hate seeing the IC title being wasted. No Bank says Stone Cold Steve Austin is in talks of one more match. Did you know that? Well, I know that he was supposed to be a referee for last year's WrestleMania. So I think he still wants to do something in the business. I think if he's going to have another match, it's going to be similar to the match that he had with Kevin Owens, where it's going to be more of an all-out brawl rather than, you know, your typical catches cat stand style of wrestling, the type that Shawn Michaels used to do. It's not going to be a technical match. It's going to be a brawl. It's going to be the likes of Sheamus versus Gunther if Stone Cold were to get back in the ring, and I think that is also a very, very cool match as well. Vinny says John versus Cody versus Seth will be interesting. B says my favourite AEW wrestler is Swerve Strickland, Who's House, and probably Kenny Omega. My favourite tag team is the Men Who Hurt People, the Hurt Syndicate. Yes, they hurt people. They hurt people. As Roll says, I would assume Rollins is going to cash in if he does on CM Punk after he beats Gunther. You see, I was saying this as well. I could see the situation where CM Punk wins the belt off of Gunther and holds it for about 5 seconds before Seth Rollins cashes it in. But I can also see a scenario where Seth Rollins cashes in during the match just to stop CM Punk ever actually holding the belt, even for like a matter of seconds. Mr. Donut says, am I stuck at 150 experience? Well, I'm not sure how the experience works, but I do know that if you use super chats or if you use super stickers, that gives you more experience. I had intended for this to be entirely free, so I'm hoping that the experience does work that way and that you don't just get 150 experience for free. I'm hoping that you can get more. So Kennedy says, I can smell something else happening in the Cena versus Cody match, if you know what I mean. I think I smell what you're cooking, Solar Kennedy. We might see a surprise return of the People's Champion, the final boss. Of course, talking about The Rock. But, I mean, you could never really count on Dwayne The Rock Johnson to show up. Mr. Jones says, are these super stickers? No, unfortunately, the super stickers are ones that you have to... They are paid little things. They're not expensive, but they do help you with experience. It is entirely up to you. I am not looking to make any money from this. I am just trying to give away a free battle pass to whoever's ranked number 1, and Alex Gardner is in there, number 1, with a bang from using a couple of super stickers himself. So now let's move on to the next match, shall we? It's going to be the Steel Cage match for the WWE United States Championship. It is, of course, the champion, Solo Sikoa, going up against Jacob Fatu. Okay, chat, let's see who you've got for the Steel Cage match for the United States Championship. Solo Sikoa with his United States Championship, defending against the previous United States champion, Jacob Fatu, inside of a steel cage match. And of course, the steel cage match means that there will absolutely be no outside interference, because there's never ever been any outside interference in any cage match in the history of professional wrestling. And of course, that is an outright lie. I think this is another way for Solo and his MFTs, which I am told is my family tree and absolutely not Mother effing Tongas. But I know what they stand for. I know what MFT means. But Solar Kennedy says Tamatonga return. I think this is the point for Tamatonga to return. I think that Solo is going to have a full faction of all the Tongas. He's going to have Tongaloa, Tolatonga, Tamatonga, of course Solo's Co as well, and JC Mateo. So I think he's going to have a full-on 5-person faction by the end of this. Solar Kennedy is my favourite Tongans. Oh, is that what it's supposed to be? My favourite Tongans? That's certainly a PG way of saying, the mother favourite Tongans. WNO says Solo is definitely going to win because Jacob, as United States champion, again, he deserved better. Now, I see that there's you're a little bit split in the middle here. There's more people going for Jacob than there's going for Solo. Alex Garner says, when is SummerSlam? It is on Saturday night. It's literally just over a day away. Solar Kennedy says, no, it's my family tea. I just thought it was funny. Yes. I think me and Solar Kennedy, we both know what MFT stands for, and it is something that we can't really say without being demonetized. But let's just say it is mother-friendly Tongas. No Bank says Samoan wrestling family is the future of WWE. Ahmed says Jimmy will be involved. That would be interesting. That would be interesting to see if Jimmy comes out to help Jacob or to stand against Solo. Is probably more interesting. Solo is way funnier than Jacob on the mic. Solo's actually really funny in ring, like where he starts stealing other people's taunts. And like Solo's actually really, really good in ring. We just need to really take the leash off him to see what happens. Someone says, I want Fatu to make Solo bleed. Well, at a steel cage match, that could very well happen. Alex Garner says, I would love to see Zilla Fatu help Jacob. Interesting. No Bank says, I like Solo. Solo Kennedy says, all this Bloodline junk is getting old, but if we're getting another Bloodline War Games, I'm not complaining. That is true. Survivor Series War Games is going to have to happen, and we're probably going to need to see a couple of big factions on either side so that War Games can happen. Ahmed says, totally wild idea, Jimmy heel turn. Oh, well, we have seen Jimmy turn heel before. Certainly, like, with Jey Uso. So, what if Jimmy sides with his younger brother Solo against Jacob Fatu and says it's about family? Interesting idea. WNO says, I can imagine what Solo and Jacob are going to do in the cell. No Bank says, yes, we have. I think that's him saying, yes, we have, to seeing Jimmy turn heel before. The way that I'm thinking about it, folks, is I think Solo Sikoa has had a very, very short run with the United States Championship. And I think he would be a very, very short transitional champion back to Jacob Fatu. But then maybe the whole reason that he's got the belt is so that Jacob Fatu can win it at SummerSlam, at a big major pay-per-view. Maybe that's the reason why Solo has the belt. Or is Solo going to do something more with the United States Championship along with his faction of his MFTs? I don't know, it could go either way. Vignesh says it's always family. B says, did you hear the news of Jimmy moving to Raw after SummerSlam? I did not. That would be interesting. Solo Kennedy says, or a wilder idea, what if Tamatonga comes back and Solo thinks he's going to help him, but he turns on Solo and helps. But he turns on Solo and helps Solo win. I think what Solo Kennedy was trying to say there is he turns on Solo and helps Jacob win. IO Nopes says, Yo, I listened to you and started campaign mode yesterday. I'm now 1,500 stars. Only have like 200 more games. I am cooked. Oh my goodness. Well done, IO. You have done tremendously well. Novak says, What do you think of WWE Unreal Netflix? I think it's a fantastic documentary. I have been a fan of WWE since the late 90s. I believe that the 1999 Royal Rumble was the first pay-per-view that I stayed up to watch as a child, and I've been watching ever since. And I think that this documentary series is absolutely wonderful in just seeing some of the backstage stuff. Now, of course, not all of it's real, some of it is staged, so of course, take it with a grain of salt. It is not 100%. This is exactly how WWE works, but it is very cool to see some of the thought process, the decisions, and showing what they wanted to show on Unreal. I think it's very, very cool. Soul Kind says he won it at WrestleMania, though. I wouldn't see him losing it just to win right back. I meant Jacob. WNO says, I know this is not SummerSlam, but what do you think of Julia as a Women's United States Champion? Is a good idea. Absolutely. Julia is an amazing wrestler, and wait until she is given a chance with that belt. You will see some amazing things. I could see her being world champion probably next year. I could even see her main eventing WrestleMania. Not this year, but next year. Ahmed said, Tama unfortunately isn't that big yet. Jimmy heel turn would be a wow moment. WWE banks on these moments. Yes, as you have probably seen in Unreal, Michael the Freebird Hayes says that WWE lives for the gotcha moments. You know, that's what he really likes to see. He likes to see the bits where it's like, whoa. Alex Garner says Julia's defending her title tonight. Nobank says Hulk Hogan was the first wrestler I seen. Totally got me hooked. Yes, I was also aware of the Hulkster back in the 80s. I wasn't an avid wrestling fan then, but of course I did know who he was. Baron Von Joy says, on the topic of Survivor Series and what a lot of us think is going to happen at SummerSlam, I can see War Games being Seth and his expanded faction versus CM Punk and pals. Ah, interesting. I don't care says morning. Hello, I don't care. Curtis Wheaton says something free in Supercard store. Oh, really? Interesting. I'll need to go and check that out. Tacto says Grandcat. And I don't care says Cat Army for Life. Hashtag Butterball. There's Butterball there. It's wonderful to see you. Selvin says, I think Jimmy will help Fatu. WO says, true. So 71% of the chat have said that Jacob is going to win, and only 29% going for Solo. And I'm going to go ahead and end the chat there, or end the chat, sorry, end the poll there. And the results of the chatters, the results of the poll are supposed to come up. There we go, finally. 72% for Jacob, 27% for Solo. Mr. Donut says, hello, I've returned. Welcome back, Mr. Donut. Interesting. Very interesting. Jacob Fatu seems to be the favourite going into this. I could see it happening. I could also see Solo Sikoa retaining, but it's very, very interesting that so many people going for Jacob Fatu. I think that's really difficult to call. I think it's a coin toss. I could see Jacob Fatu being the big babyface, winning at SummerSlam in the steel cage and overcoming the odds. I could also see interference from the Tongans, maybe even interference from Jimmy Uso as well, and we could see them helping Solo retain the title. I don't think Solo beats Jacob Fatu on a one-on-one. I think if it's just those two and no one else interferes, Jacob Fatu wins. But with the help and interference from Solo, I think Solo could walk away with the championship still in his grasp. I don't care says, did I miss the Battle Pass giveaway? Solo wins. Hello, Mr. Donut. The Battle Pass, I will be giving away a free Battle Pass to whoever has the #1 rank in the top fans at the end of this stream. So if you want a chance to get into it, you can get your points either by chatting in the live stream, using super stickers, or using super chat. Takato says, what happened to the Tongas? They're still there. They're still around. Emma says, I personally don't like the new SummerSlam War Games that we've had the past few years. Always loved Raw versus SmackDown and even NXT. Loved the interbrand fights that would break out. Pure nostalgia. Yes, there is certainly something for that. It used to be bragging rights. That was the thing. But yeah, it would be cool. And also, I think Crown Jewel now has kind of Raw versus SmackDown to an extent. Curtis Weldon says, have you managed to pull Eddie yet? I have not. I still can't pull that Eddie Guerrero. Not for the life of me. Alex Garner says, Jacob's crazy. He is so fast. He is indeed. So now let's move on to the next one. We've only got 3 matches left to go here. It is the no disqualification, no count out, last chance match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. It's Becky Lynch as champion versus Lyra Valkyria. And if Becky Lynch wins, Lyra Valkyria can no longer challenge for the Intercontinental Championship. So, let me go ahead and write this up. So who do you think is going to win in this no disqualification match? Remember, it's not a street fight. No, the street fight is for John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, and we can't go stepping on the feet of John Cena and Cody Rhodes. This is a no disqualification, no countouts match, which is completely different, I'm told, even though it's exactly the same. And it's Lyra Valkyria versus big time Becky Lynch in the no disqualification match. Now, I think Lyra should win, but I think if Becky Lynch is going to retain, Becky Lynch is going to retain with the help of Bayley. I think there is a possibility that Bayley could turn heel. Ahmed says Lyra with Bayley's help. That's an interesting choice, that Bayley might come out and help Lyra instead. Jisadu says Bird Lady wins. That is Lyra, of course. No Bank says Becky cheats. Vignesh says, what's your thoughts on the new SummerSlam event? Because I was busy with these weeks. I now got about 10 free cards and still can get more. Yeah, the new SummerSlam event's actually really, really good. WNO says maybe someone else will interfere. That could also be a possibility. Shadow says, man, I'm excited. Alex Garner says, have you got Batista yet? I have. I have got 1 Batista. And of course, we're working towards a 2nd Batista as well. So it's very interesting. It looks like the chat is kind of split. There's 42% for Becky Lynch. There's 58% for Lyra. Alex Garner says, can you change the image? You can. You can indeed change the image of all of the brand new title cards, including Batista, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Zelina Vega, John Cena, and Dominic Mysterio. Someone says, the Grand Cat, are you close to the British Bulldog card? Not yet. I never got to the point where I was stopped by campaign mode, but I certainly have just taken a little break from it to do Giants Unleashed and to play some of the other game modes instead. It's now exactly 50-50%. 50-50 for Becky versus Lyra. You know what? I think I'm going to end the poll right there, because that is pretty cool to see that it is 100% 50-50, that it could be Lyra, could be Becky Lynch, and I could see it going either way, but I think at this point Lyra kind of needs a win on the big stage of SummerSlam. That's why I went with Lyra Valkyria. So our second last match is the triple threat for the Women's World Championship. Let's go ahead and do the poll here. Okay, so now we've got the triple threat for the Women's World Championship. Is it going to be Rhea Bloody Ripley? Is it going to be Io Sky? Or is it going to be Proceed with Caution Naomi? Now, for my for my for my 2 cents, I would say I think it needs to be Naomi that wins because she cashed in her Money in the Bank. She's only had the belt for a couple of weeks, and this is a real point for Naomi to prove herself. And she's been getting over with this proceed with caution gimmick. I think it's probably the best she's looked in her entire career. It's certainly better than the feel the glow stuff and things. I think this new crazy version of her still has a lot to prove. I think she has to have a proper feud, proper fight with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, and I think it could even lead up to WrestleMania. So my money is on Naomi. I see there's a lot of people putting their chips on Rhea Bloody Ripley, and I would be ecstatic if Mami were to regain the World Championship. I think that would be very, very cool indeed. There's an equal number putting their chips in Io Sky as Naomi. Looks like Naomi's just got a couple more votes there. So I think that Naomi has to win this. I also think that even though it's really fun to book every single title changing hands, I don't see that happening because some people have to retain their titles. And it's a case of, well, who's losing and who's winning? Vignesh says, I watched your video on Blocker Buster, but my luck is really bad and always ends up finding the wrong spots. That is unfortunate. It's just something that you have to get lucky with. But if you know where the things cannot be, it certainly helps a lot as well. Ankush says, I don't think the title will change so soon. I don't think so either. That's why I'm going for Naomi. And that's where I am thinking. No Bank says, Triple H better listen to the Grand Cat. Butterball says, you're right. She does not need to win. Selwyn says, I'm so close to British Bulldog, it's so hard. Alice Garner says, what event is after SummerSlam? After SummerSlam, I believe, is Clash in Paris. And then after Clash in Paris, I think it's Crown Jewel, followed by Survivor Series. Then I think we've got the Saturday Night Main Event at the end of the year, which is John Cena's last match. And then after that, we're going to Royal Rumble. Then we've got Elimination Chamber. Then we've got WrestleMania, I think. And even at that, a lot of those haven't even been confirmed yet. But I think that's what the timeline is roughly looking like. I might have missed a pay-per-view or two in amongst there. Ahmed says, Naomi, she makes sense against Stephanie Vacure. Io and Mami are friends with her. Oh, so you think, because it's a triple threat match, there's no disqualifications. So you think that Naomi might have the help of possibly Stephanie Vacure? I could see that happening. Alex Garner says, I hope we get a new Royal Rumble winner. Well, we'll get a Royal Rumble winner. I don't know if it's going to be a new one or not, but I'm sure there will be. It looks like most of the Grand Cat Grand Fleet have went for Naomi in the end. There's 44% for Naomi, 25% for Io, and 31% for Rhea Bloody Ripley. So we're going to go ahead and end the poll on that one. Got a whole load of poll results there. Oh, Ahmed says Naomi will face Stephanie at Clash in Paris. That is right, because Stephanie Vacure is going to fight whoever is champion at Clash in Paris. That is correct. Alec Garner says, I mean, someone who has never won the Royal Rumble. Well, I mean, Jey Uso had never won the Royal Rumble before, and that didn't seem to go over incredibly well with the audience. Selvin says, when I grow up, I'm going to be a wrestler. That is going to be very cool. You should always chase your dreams. If you aim for the stars, At best, you will land among the sky. Anchor says Karen Cross should have been Money in the Bank winner. Curtis Whelan says, how are you doing in the collections? Well, I'm doing my best. Actually, I'm going to tell you a little story. It is a story that comes from Jim Carrey. He said that his father didn't go after his dreams because he wanted a stable job, because he needed a financially stable position to look after his family, to look after his wife, to look after his son, who was Jim Carrey, of course. And he gave up on his dreams and he got himself an office job. And that office fired him, and he was left without any money. He was left without any position. He didn't have any kind of standings. And Jim Carrey said at that point he realized you cannot go after your dream and still fail. So why not go after your dream where you have a chance to succeed rather than giving up on your dream and failing anyway? So I absolutely tell people, follow your dreams. Go for whatever it is you want in life. Do not feel like you have to settle for, an office job or a call center or anything like that, because you absolutely do not. You yourself have a chance in life to do something great, and it's up to you to take those opportunities. Anchor says, what is your job/profession, bro? I currently run a little card game store, which you can also see in this channel. And I've been running that for 14 and a half years. Yes, I'm a very, very old grandcat, but that is what I do for my living. And I like to be able to share some of it with everyone here on YouTube. And that is what I do. Okay, so we are down to... Oh, Novak says he's a huge Pokemon fan. Very cool. Last one is the street fight for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And there we go, the poll is up. The street fight for the Uwu title. Is it the Unseen 17 greatest of all time, John Cena? Is it the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes? Or do you think that Seth Rollins cashes in the Money in the Bank on the undisputed WWE Universal title instead of the World title, which has Gunther and CM Punk in it? Those are the decisions. Alex Gardner says, I was confused when I saw 3 options. Well, it looks like a lot of people aren't thinking that Seth Rollins is going to be cashing in on the he's not going to be cashing in the Money in the Bank. Now, do remember, this is John Cena's last big event. He is not going to be at this year's WrestleMania. He's not going to be at this year's Royal Rumble. He is going to be at Summerslam. That's going to be his last major event. He'll be at Survivor Series. He'll be at Clash in Paris. He will be at the Crown Jewel, possibly. He might be at Crown Jewel, don't know. And then his last appearance is going to be the final Saturday night main event at the end of the year in December, and that will be his farewell match. So, do you think that John Cena is retaining the Uwu title, in this match? And that is the question. Let's see what the chats are saying. Jason Voorhees says hello. Hello, Jason Voorhees. I mean, it says Cena will win. Too much storytelling left. It's only August. Curtis Willen says, have you got Finn yet? I do indeed have Finn. I've not got the heroic upgrade yet. Wrestling Night Out says, nah, Seth is chasing in the World Heavyweight Championship. Anchor says, no, Seth will be with CM Punk. Backlight says hello. Anchor says, turn Cody heel and make Cena face again. Alex Garner says, Seth cashing in during Punk's match. If he does cash in, No Bank says, Ric Flair interfered because he pissed that Cena beat his 16-time world championship. Oh no. Curtis Whelan says, John turns face. Veneer says, as much as I like Cody, Seth, but I am sticking with the invisible 17-time Uwu championship. And Takato says, I hope The Rock appears in SummerSlam. Sylvan says, I think Cody Rhodes will win the Uwu title. So I think if The Rock does show up, then Seth Rollins is probably better used over in the CM Punk Gunther storyline. But I think if The Rock isn't going to be there, I think it would be a huge swerve if SummerSlam Night 1 comes and goes, Gunther versus CM Punk happens, and Seth Rollins doesn't cash in. Everyone would think that Seth Rollins is legitimately injured and forget about him. And then when the Cena versus Cody Rhodes match happens, people would forget that Seth Rollins has the Money in the Bank briefcase, and that this might be what the entire thing was all leading up for Seth Rollins to win the belt off of John Cena. Because one thing is being the 17-time undisputed champion, the greatest champion of all time. There's another thing for beating the greatest champion of all time to become the undisputed champion. And I think that might be what Seth Rollins is going for. And I also think that might lead into Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Because if Seth Rollins interferes with the Gunther CM Punk match, you would imagine that it's probably going to be Seth Rollins versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. If Cody Rhodes beats John Cena, who challenges Cody Rhodes? Whereas I could see there being a possibility where Seth Rollins cashes in during the John Cena and Cody Rhodes match. Ankush says, are you sure about AJ Styles winning? Absolutely not. I'm not sure at all, but that's who I've got winning. The reason I've got AJ Styles winning is because I think the Judgment Day might lose all of their titles. WNO says, why is it you call it the Uwu title? It's because it's the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, and that is the undisputed is U, WWE is W, and Universal is U as well. Bailey says, you all forgot Seth said he would die before allowing Punk to win a title. Yes, he said as long as he has breath in his lungs, he'll make sure that CM Punk never wins a world title. Someone says The Rock might distract Cody. I actually think, right, here's what I think. Well, let's see. Ahmed says Cena all the way, but I hope the street fight is great. But to me, the great SummerSlam match is the unsanctioned Triple H versus HBK. That's unbeatable. What do you think? It's a huge, huge match, actually. Veneer says, I still remember Seth cashing in WrestleMania 37 and stole Roman's title during the Roman versus Brock match. Yes, that is the heist of the century. Julian says, hey man, did I miss the giveaway? No, the giveaway will be given to whoever's ranked #1 in the top fans at the end of the stream, which we are slowly approaching. Tactile with all the Grand Cat little emojis. Anchor says, what about Soul Squad and Jacob Fatu? We discussed that earlier as well, and it's really 50-50 on what the Grand Cat Grand Fleet think. And now, I was going to tell you the story. Here is what I would do if I were booking. During the CM Punk versus Gunther match, I would have Seth Rollins come out on crutches and with the briefcase and not being able to cash in the briefcase, but enough to distract CM Punk so that Gunther can win. Then, when it comes to night two, Seth Rollins comes out with the crutches. He's got the cast on his leg and everything, and then he throws the crutches to the side. He takes the cast off, and he shows that he's not injured at all. And he runs into the ring, and everyone's like, "Oh my goodness!" I think that's what the swerve is, because WWE loves having these gotcha moments, which you have all seen. You have all seen it from the Unreal, the WWE Unreal, that WWE lives for those gotcha moments, and I think that's exactly what is going to happen. I think Seth Rollins is going to come out and prove to everyone that he's injured, so that on night two, he can show people that he isn't injured at all. I think that is what is going to happen. Alex Gardner says, what happens if Liv comes back during the tag match between Judgment Day and Charlexa? Well, I'm not going to bet against Charlotte Flair. Jason Voorhees says, it wouldn't be the first time Seth playing like he's really hurt. Julian says, WWE wants an unforgettable moment for the first 2-day SummerSlam. That is true. This is the very first 2-day SummerSlam, so they need to have something huge happen in the main event of night two. Curtis Weldon says, Cena turns face, Dom loses, and we have Cena versus AJ for John being a Grand Slam champion at Clash in Paris. Oh. Yeah, I suppose John Cena hasn't won the Intercontinental Championship. That's a good point. Veneer says, leg crutches of the century. Khalik says, what if Seth's music hits and CM Punk is waiting for him, but he doesn't show himself until night two before finally cashing in? I could also see that happening. Anchor says, how to rank up in top fans? Well, let's go ahead and read the information, because we are approaching the end now. How do you get on the leaderboard? You'll need to collect experience points or XP. Here's how you get them. Send live chat messages or send super chats and super stickers. Those are the ways to get experience. And I can see that there is a couple of people that have 150 experience. Alex Gardner is the only one with 375 experience, and Alex Gardner is the one who used 2 of the super stickers, so I think that might be the difference maker there. We have been live streaming for 112 minutes, and I said that I would go for about 2 hours, so we've got about 8 minutes roughly before I end the stream, and whoever's going to be ranked number 1 at the end is indeed going to be the one to get the Battle Pass from the big old Grand Cat. Anchor says hi. Blacklight says, I don't like playing King of the Ring. That mode is not fun. You've actually just reminded me that I'm in the middle of a King of the Ring, and I hope that I'm still in it. Thank you for reminding me. Looks like we are... Looks like we're now in the finals. Who are we in the finals against? We are in the finals against Yaruza. So one of us will be getting that SummerSlam 25 card. It's going to be very, very exciting. And let's see. Jason Vor says Roman will be champion again. Alex Garner says you can do your freebies in game. Oh, I can. It's now officially 8 p.m. I might make that into just a separate video so that we've got a regular video alongside the live stream. But here are my predictions. No, that's campaign mode. Here are my predictions for SummerSlam 25. Vignesh says, you can win King of the Ring, Grand Cat. Thank you. I'm going to try, Vignesh. Vignesh. Tacto says, new cow for free. Oh, interesting. A new cow. I didn't even know there was an old cow. Right, so let's go over. I will go over all of my predictions. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship match. I think it's Jade Cargill's time to win the title. Got Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. I think the only reason this match is happening is for Jelly Roll to get a win on the big screen on SummerSlam itself, and also push Jelly Roll as the celebrities part of SummerSlam. Gunther versus CM Punk. I think either Gunther's winning or Seth Rollins is winning. I think if it's a one-on-one, CM Punk could win. But I think Seth Rollins is going to do some kind of interference or shenanigan right here. So I'm going to say Gunther. However, I think that Seth Rollins will walk away from SummerSlam with one of the World Heavyweight Championships. Whether it's the World Heavyweight Championship, whether it's the Ubu Championship, I think he's walking away with one of them. Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I think it's Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss's time to win the Women's Tag Team Championships. We've got the Bloodline, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus the Brawns, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And I think Roman Reigns is absolutely not losing the SummerSlam match and last year's WrestleMania in a row. I think Roman Reigns and Jey Uso are going to win this tag match. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. I think Karrion Kross has to win. Otherwise, Karrion Kross is cooked. He is completely cooked. He has nothing left going for him in WWE. And at that point, he might as well just quit and go to AEW, because otherwise he's just going to be in the mid-card at best. Next up is Night 2, which we've got the 6-pack TLC match, which is the Wyatt Six, Andrade and Rey Fenix, DIY, Fraxium, Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits. I think one of three things. Either Andrade and Rey Fenix are going to win because they are getting the push from the audience. Wyatt Six are going to retain so that whoever beats them looks really, really strong. Or I think it could be Fraxium's turn to get a shot with the tag titles. Those are my three suggestions. Out of those three, I am going to go with Andrade and Rey Fenix. Then we've got Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental title. I think AJ Styles is going to win because I think Judgment Day are going to lose all their belts. Some people in the chat have said that they think that Finn Balor might cost Dominic Mysterio, might distract him. And I think the whole idea is that all of Judgment Day are going to lose all of their belts. And I think maybe the Raw tag titles are going to be lost on the Raw after SummerSlam. So basically you've got like 3 nights in a row. So SummerSlam night 1, the women lose their women's tag titles to Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Night 2, Dominic loses his Intercontinental Championship to AJ Styles. And then Raw after SummerSlam, which is night 3, Finn Balor and JD McDonough lose the Raw tag titles to whoever's against them, which may very well be Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Then we've got Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu for the championship. And everyone's 50-50 on this. If it's a one-on-one, Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu 100% wins. However, does Solo Sikoa have some shenaniganry? Does he have people interfering? Does he have Tama Tonga return? Does Jimmy Uso come out and turn heel, turn against Jacob Fatu and side with his little brother Solo Sikoa? I'm not sure. It could go either way. Could be Jacob Fatu getting his big win on the SummerSlam stage, or it could be Solo Sikoa retaining and having a longer title run with the United States Championship. Then we've got Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria in a no disqualification, no count out last chance match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. If Lynch wins, Lyra Valkyria can no longer challenge the title as long as Lynch is champion. I think that this is the point for Lyra Valkyria to win because of a stipulation like this. It kind of means that either the feud ends right here and now, with Lyra being unable to challenge for the belt again, or I think Bayley comes out and interferes. And I was going to say that Bayley comes out and interferes to help Becky Lynch, but I could also see Bayley coming out to help interfere and helping Lyra Valkyria. I could see it going either way, but I am going to put my money on Lyra Valkyria because if Lyra Valkyria wins the Intercontinental Championship, then Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria can continue to feud against each other. They can continue this feud, and if Lyra Valkyria loses, then I don't know what on earth Lyra Valkyria does So I think Lyra Valkyria kind of has to win this match against Becky Lynch. Then we've got the triple threat match for the women's world title. It is Proceed with Caution Naomi versus Rhea Bloody Ripley versus the Genius of the Sky, Io Sky. And I think Naomi has to retain so that we can get Naomi versus Jade Cargill for the champion, or champion versus champion at Crown Jewel, so that we can get possibly Naomi versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, so that we can continue the feud. And also, Naomi has only just recently won the world title. I think if she loses it immediately in the triple threat versus Rhea and versus Io Sky, that it would just really ruin her character. And Naomi's doing some of the best work that she's ever done in her entire career. So I would like to see Naomi retain that belt. And then we've got the final match, the last match, the street fight for the undisputed WWE Universal Uwu Championship. It is the Unseen 17 greatest of all time, John Cena, versus the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And we could see some interference from Seth freaking Rollins with a cash-in. We could see the final boss, the People's Champion, come back and maybe even help Cody Rhodes at the cost of his soul, where Cody turns heel. We could see John Cena has slowly been turning face, and we've slowly seen Cody Rhodes turn heel. And the fact that it's a street fight means that Cody Rhodes can do whatever he wants. John Cena can also do whatever he wants. But it'll be very, very interesting. That is the match that I'm most interested in seeing, is the John Cena Undisputed WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes. I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing that one. But if you want Grand Cat's opinion, what I think is going to happen is that Seth Rollins is going to cost Gunther the world title at night one. He's going to come out and he's going to distract Gunther, and then, he's going to maybe come out with crutches. He's going to look like he's still injured. He's not going to cash in the Money in the Bank. He's only going to come out to distract CM Punk so that Gunther gets the win. And then during this John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins is going to come out and reveal that he's not injured at all. He's going to throw the crutches away. He's going to take off the leg brace. He's going to run down to the ring, and he's going to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. And I think Summerslam ends, the first ever two-night pay-per-view SummerSlam is going to end with Seth Rollins doing the cash-in of the Millennium, the heist of the Millennium, just like he had the heist of the century. Now we're just going to go read some of the chat. We've now been streaming for just over 2 hours. And let's see what we say. Oh my goodness. Ankush has donated 19 of... I'm not even sure what this is. But it is a super sticker. A super sticker. And it is very, very cool. So thank you, Ankush. That is very, very kind of you. Let's see the rest of the chat here. Killick Fisher says Roman and Jay yeeting after beating Braun Breaker and Bronson. Alex Garner says, what if Drew turns on Logan? Then we get Logan versus Drew. B says, there's a funny support in the shop. Go check it out in the gift. I will get that, but I'll make that into its own video. Alex Garner says, come on, Charlexa. Blackwell says Roman's getting his J's back. Jimmy and Jay. Alex Garner says Sammy doesn't need the win. Vinesh says my predictions are locked in, same as yours at Grand Cat. Blackwell says new Talatonga and Ulafala is in the shop. Oh, interesting. I'll need to see that. Ankush has given a super sticker. It says, let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. Very cool. Very, very nice of you, Ankush. Thank you very much for that. Vinesh says, hopefully our predictions will be correct, Zag Grandcat. Big Boss Man says, so I know there's a free gift in store. I'll be looking at it just after this. I'll make it into a separate video, and I'll probably be going up in about half an hour. Like I said, just got SummerSlam 25 Alex Shelley from the free pack. Alice Garner says, Judgment Day fall apart at SummerSlam. Ankush says Solo winning for sure. Vinny says, I just got Drew McIntyre support from the store. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to take a look at that. You know what? Let's go ahead and look at it here. I'm not going to go ahead and claim it, but I just want to go ahead and take a look at it. Ah, right, it's not up for me yet because I have to back out and go back in just to get it reset. Veneer says, oh my god, just got 2 Eddies from the music pack back to back. Oh, I'll need to try out the music pack then. There we go. Okay, let's take a look at the store that you're all talking about. The Drew McIntyre? Are you serious? What is this? What the hell's this? Drew McIntyre? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna have to claim that in a video. That's ridiculous. No, not campaign mode. That's not what we're going for. We're going for the watch party. My goodness. That's hilarious. Mortico says hi. WNO says nice. Alex Garner says, what if Brock Lesnar comes back to help Cody? That would be really wild. That would be way out there. WNO says, Alex Garner says, wasn't Seth the first person to cash in at WrestleMania? I believe he was. Veneer says, a lot of drama will be happening from your theories. Yes, I think so. Ankush says, I can only donate that. I can donate that only, can't buy anymore. Well, it's very, very much appreciated, Ankush. Thank you very much. I appreciate any amounts from the big old Grand Cat Grand Fleet, and I don't want you going and bankrupting yourselves, Grand Cat Grand Fleet. I am very, very happy that you can support me in any small way that you can. So thank you, huge shout out. WNO says, which tag team division do you like more, Raw or SmackDown? It really depends on the champion, and it's really, really difficult to say at the moment. I would say that the tag team division in SmackDown is much broader than Raw, so I'd maybe go for SmackDown at the moment. But I think if Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed take the Raw tag titles, they could be a dominant threat. They're probably the strongest tag team, short of Roman Reigns and Jey Uso at the moment. Alex Gardner says, what are the sports in game now? Veneer says, all hail to a Drew McIntyre. And Kelly Fisher says, is Drew available for SummerSlam? I do not know. I know that he was in the UK and he supposedly has his passport in America. So that's going to be very, very awkward. Kelly Fisher says he's still stuck in Scotland. Okay, let's go ahead and end this poll here and let's see what the poll looks like. So we have 50% of people going for the Unseen 17 Greatest of All Time, John Cena. We've got 33% of people going for the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And we've got 16% of people going for Seth freaking Rollins cashing in the money in the bank. And with that, we are now officially done with this live stream. So it's time to tally up the scores and take a look at the top fans here. So let's see what everyone has. In third place is Belly 3x3, who is ranked number 3. He has 150 experience. In number 2 is Vinyesh, who has 175 experience. And number 1 with 450 experience is Alex Gardner, and the winner of our very first Battle Pass giveaway. So congratulations, Alex Gardner. You are getting yourself a free Battle Pass. You're getting yourself the Unseen 17 Greatest of All Time John Cena Battle Pass. And that is going to be the end of our little live stream. Thank you all for staying with me for these last 2 hours for this wonderful and very interesting little watch party. And let's see. Blacklight says he returned. Kalik says, what if MGK steps into tag with Logan? Blacklight says he posted a video on Twitter with Logan by his side. Veneer says, congratulations at Alex Gardner. Alex Gardner says, thank you, Grandcat. Tacto says, W. Alex Gardner says, it's been fun. Vignesh says, yeah. Vignesh and Alex Gardner were ranked number 1 and 2. Those two were right at the top of the board the entire stream. I think if either one of them had dropped out of the stream, they might not have won it. And don't worry, this is not the last time I will be giving away a free Battle Pass. But if you want me to give away more Battle Passes, the best way to go about doing that is to make sure that you give me a like, share, and subscribe. And not only subscribe, but get your cats to subscribe, get your grandparents to subscribe, your parents, your little brothers, your children, your siblings, anyone that you can grab hold of, get them to subscribe to the Grandcat channel, because the more subscribers that we have, the more of these battle passes, and not just battle passes, but any kind of giveaways the big old Grandcat can do. And of course, August 2025 is the first time we've been able to give away one of these battle passes. So I am indeed going to gift a battle pass to Alex Gardner. I'm not going to do it on stream. I will do it immediately after the stream, but don't worry, Alex, it will be coming to you. And you, of course, are going to get all of these John Cena goodies, including the Unseen 17 Greatest of All Time John Cena with the Uwu Championship, the John Cena card backs. There it is, the Unseen 17, the John Cena Pipe Bomb promo, the other 17, the Farewell Tour John Cena card back, and of course, the Pro John Cena. You'll be able to grab all of those when you get your free Battle Pass. You've got 25 days and 23 hours to work your way through all 25 levels and grab all those rewards. So congratulations to Alex Gardner, the very first winner of the Grandcats Battle Pass giveaway. And with that said, folks, that is now going to be it for this little live stream, and I really hope that you've all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so that you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out. And we shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.